Vola angwela o veteronugu, ako itabua. Ako do talitain na barong na Bula FM, nambandua na sere.
Bula, alang gono ilutoka do talita ka ng Bula FM berarti ni nambandua na sere.
Ni Bula binaka, nanregen go sa Bula FM nga. Na kasi.
Nalang go sa mundo atibio ng Bula FM nambandua na sere nusuri.
Ni Bula binaka, nalang go Jerry, yang melambasa. Do barong na Bula FM.
Bula FM, number 2 and seri.
In the news tonight, police concerned with children caught loitering at night. Australia responds to PM's pleas. And husband of helicopter crash victim shares memories.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Children as young as 11 have been found loitering in towns and cities at night and have been escorted to police stations in the past few weeks. On an average, 5 children in a week have been escorted to police stations since the operation began. Pranita Prakash reports.
Young children roaming on the streets in major towns and cities came under the scrutiny of police during the night operations leading up to the second-term school holidays.
Yeah, over the past few weeks that we've been conducting operations, we have come across situations where we've had to take young children back to the police station, and we've been working with our juvenile bureau as well as the Ministry of Social Welfare to try and get in touch with their parents.
Police spokesperson Anane Soro says on 2 separate occasions, children were seen moving alone at night, and when confronted, they said they did not have any bus fare to return home.
There were 2 specific cases where we had to call the parents because they were in town but they couldn't get home because they lost their money or they had no bus fare. So, but there was another case where we came across a 17-year-old who we had to take back home, but then we discovered that the reason why he wasn't seen in town on various nights was because there was a few issues.
In some cases, children have ended up in places without the knowledge of their parents.
This is something that is really uncalled for. When you talk about parental issues here, they should look after their children because anything can happen.
School holidays underway and a lot of activities happening. The police force is requesting parents and guardians to talk to their children and encourage them to seek help from police officers when needed. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Australian government has replied to Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama's plea, saying they are making a transition from coal energy over time. Australia's Minister for International Development and the Pacific, Alex Hawke, has stated their climate solution package includes reducing the dependence on coal. He says they're also looking at various renewable energy sources. Ali Kimbias in Tuvalu and files this report.
Please do more.
Responding to this plea by Bainimarama, the Australian government has guaranteed they are ready to listen.
So very much we want to say to Fiji, we want to say to all of the member states here, Australia is listening on climate. We will be doing more. We'll be spending more through our package and dealing with the adaptation, the resilience needs of the Pacific.
With Bainimarama calling for Australia to reduce their heavy reliance on coal, Hawke says work is in progress.
And he called on us to make a transition. The Australian government is making a transition over time. Of course, in our climate solutions package, you'll see our dependence on coal reduces. We'll have a quarter of our energy will be generated by renewables. But importantly, in the Pacific, and the money we're going to be spending, we're also spending on renewable energy projects through our climate spending. And
Australia's response has come with a record spending.
That will spend $500 million from 2020 over 5 years on climate. It'll be dedicated money. And out of that, you'll see more renewable energy focus, climate adaptation focus, and climate resilience focus.
With Bainimarama and Sopoanga calling for one voice, Australia has opted for the bilateral way.
Well, Australia's approach is going to be to have bilateral meetings on climate to identify the needs. And the reason is because every country does have some particular needs in terms of climate adaptation and resilience and mitigation.
With this being said, by Australia, the Pacific Islands Forum meeting, which opens tonight in Funafuti, Tuvalu, will be an interesting one, as the deliberations will determine the outcome for a collective Pacific voice. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the Fijian community in Tuvalu hosted the Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama to a reception at the University of the South Pacific's Funafuti campus last night. Fijians are working in Tuvalu under the Fiji Volunteer Scheme as teachers and health practitioners. The Prime Minister assured Fijians living there that he will keep raising the issue of climate change at such forums. The last time Tonga Kalongata saw his wife and 2-year-old son, he was sending them off on a medical evacuation from Naitaumba Island to the Lambasa Hospital. That was also the last time he spoke to them, as the helicopter carrying the mother and son crashed near the east coast of Natewa Bay in Vanuatu 2 Fridays ago. Eleanor Tarangai View has more.
Friday, August 2nd, 2019, a day Tonga Kalongata cannot erase from his mind. It's the very day he lost his wife, Taribosa Kadilala Modi Suba, and his 2-year-old son, Epeli Jeremiah.
This is the most painful experience of my life.
Kalongata and his wife found out that morning that their son had a serious medical condition which needed urgent treatment. Help came in late in the afternoon in the form of a helicopter and its pilot, Captain Gilbert Parker.
I saw that if we had kept him longer on the island, his condition would deteriorate. I was thankful that Gilbert Parker came to our rescue.
But that rescue was short-lived. The helicopter went down in the Natewa Bay less than an hour after takeoff.
Captain Parker came with the intention to save my son. He assured me that they would make it to Lambasa. We had to take the risk to save my son.
The 32-year-old father of 2 still remembers clearly his last words to his wife before the ill-fated flight took off.
I told her, if anything happens to our son, please accept it. That is part of God's plan. But I never dreamt that the trip would end the way it did.
On Saturday, 3rd August, Kalongata received a call that parts of the helicopter that his wife and son were in have been found in the Natewa Bay.
I felt so weak, I was lost. Never did I imagine that this would happen. I didn't know what to do.
Kalongata has now come to terms with the fact that his wife is no more and that his 2-year-old son might not be found.
For now, I accept everything. Whether they found the body or not, it's okay with me.
Today, Kalongata took his wife on her final journey to her home in Taviuni, a journey he never dreamt he would be making so early in life. His wife, Taribosa Kadilala, was laid to rest at Sisila near Mate this afternoon. Eleanor Tarangai View, FBC News.
A 45-year-old driver has died following a motor vehicle accident in Namosi yesterday morning. The deceased resided in Cunningham, Nasinu, and was heading towards Wainiavu village when he apparently lost control of the truck he was driving along Nakavika. It veered off the road and rolled down a nearby slope. The road death toll stands at 30 compared to 46 for the same period last year. Up ahead, maritime security and climate change discussed. And Fiji sees positive recycling behaviour. Details after the break.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, my name is Sotiama here in Ba. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Rakiraki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The increase in sea transportation services is benefiting Fijians on one hand, but on the other, it's being exploited and used for crime and illegal drug trade. Speaking at a Heads of Maritime Forces workshop today, Acting Minister for Defence Choneo Somate says maritime security is now a major concern for Pacific Island countries. Kelly Vadalo reports.
The heads of Pacific Maritime Forces have gathered in Suva to look at ways to make our borders safer.
It has developed or shifted maritime security perspectives to face non-military threats, such as jurisdictional disputes, transnational organized crime, which includes traffic in small arms, illegal movement of people and drugs, and third, illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing and piracy.
Commander Navy Captain Humphrey Tawake says the maritime environment continues to evolve.
We can work smart around it together with our stakeholders, and disrupting those lines of communication that they have is critical for us to have that deterrence.
Acting Minister for Defence and National Security Choni Usamati says climate change is another security threat faced by maritime security forces.
In the Pacific, climate change will threaten our coastlines. It will encroach further on freshwater supplies and arable land, slowly submerge, slowly sink small low-lying islands, cause more frequent and more devastating tropical storms.
The forum is a perfect platform for operational level leaders to influence and implement the necessary machineries required for a safer and secure region. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
9 cases of colorectal or bowel cancer were registered by the Fiji Cancer Society last year, with 1 confirmed case for 2019 so far. Fiji Cancer Society Program Manager Josephine Oyagawa says it's important that Fijians continue to be informed about the killer disease and how crucial it is to get regular checkups. Oyagawa says colorectal cancer typically affects adults, but it can happen at any age.
So what the society is doing is just trying to get more information out there to the general public on what colorectal cancer is, keep them informed about it and how they can minimize or take better care of themselves. So if they have any other questions, they can always come into the Cancer Society, talk to the staff who can give them more information on colorectal cancer.
The Methodist Church of Fiji will continue to strengthen women's participation in all church events. With the annual conference now on its 4th day, women from the 58 divisions have graced the stage to sing of spiritual values and other important messages. Chosai Nanunga has more.
The vital role that women play in the church has always been undeniably huge.
We acknowledge the contribution of women in the Methodist Church. Everything in the stall is about the women. They sell their handicrafts, they sell their food. We have a women's stall, a shed of its own.
The church will continue advocating that women with ambitions, intelligence and strength have proved that the word inferior has nothing in common with their gender.
Women from the islands, women from up the outskirts of Suva, up at the hills, they came with the product, they sell it and they return with something. I think this is an event that, if you see, really empowers our women.
Meanwhile, the bold statement, where there's a will, there's a way, best describes women from Biaumunu in the province of the Konrobe.
We have been preparing from a very long time to this much-awaited annual event. This includes preparing the choir, handicraft, costumes and transport. We have raised over $1,000 for our sea transport to Suva, and all funds raised from this selling is for our own consumption.
An estimate of $126,000 have been collected in the first 3 days of the annual bazaar. The church looks forward to more networking before the event draws its curtain on Saturday. Chosai Nanunga, FBC News.
Mission Pacific has managed to drive a positive recycling behavior in Fiji by sustainable packaging and recycling through bottle buyback scheme. This was announced by Coca-Cola Amatil today during Mission Pacific's 20 years of recycling celebrations. Lena Reese reports.
Beverage manufacturers were today urged to commit to sustainable packaging that will further drive an enabling environment for recycling.
Mission Pacific collects and prepares for recycling on average 200 tonnes of plastic waste, plastic bottles per annum. Or to put it another way, that's approximately the weight of 100 cars of PET material every year.
Two-time international award-winning sustainability manager Dwayne Galovaki also encouraged people to recycle plastic bottles and cans to help prevent them from going to landfills or the marine environment.
You continue to set the benchmark extremely high, from your solar system setup and now to moving your Sprite bottles into clear bottles. I think it's part of the momentum that we need to continually applaud and encourage and support and cheer on, especially in this industry when we don't have as much support as we'd like to.
Meanwhile, Coca-Cola also launched its clear, more recyclable bottle for Sprite that can have a higher chance of becoming another bottle, creating a circular solution for plastic. Lina Reese, FBC News.
More than 61 delegates from the Pacific Association of Supreme Audit Institutions attended the 22nd PASAI Congress in Sigatoka today. The Congress was opened by Parliament Speaker Ratuepeli Nailatikau, emphasizing on the need for PASAI to commit in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Koroi Tandulala reports.
The PASAI member countries were reminded on the important role they play in the Pacific in realizing all Sustainable Development Goals.
In this journey, it cannot be emphasized enough that we all have a role to play, and everyone is responsible for or should assist in the implementation of one or more of the goals.
Amongst the objective of the PASAI Congress, other pressing issues concerning the Pacific were highlighted.
We should also acknowledge that there are cross-cutting issues, such as gender equality, SDG 5, and climate action, SDG 13.
PASAI will discuss its strategy in utilizing its allocated fund to carry out its task in meeting the SDG goals.
This is an important conversation as PASAI finds itself in the situation of having a strong funding platform for the next few years, and now we must go to the critical task of looking about how we deliver on our strategic plan.
Deemed Supreme Audit Institution's contribution to the sustainable development, the Congress will continue for the next few days. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
And Koroi joins us now with the latest in business.
Thank you, Jackie. Coming up, FCCC reminds electricity providers that they need license. And in growing Fiji, UK Minister inspects electrification project on Vio Island. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Shamiza. And I'm Salma. We're from Nandi and we love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
My name is Rajnita Lata and I'm from Vatulaloba. और हम सब मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है because it's hot.
Hi, my name is Vinita. I'm from Lambasa. I love listening to Mirchi FM. It's #1.
हमारा नाम सागर रेड्डी है. हम लोग स्कूल में, हम लोग घर में और कहीं भी रहता हम लोग कल मिर्ची एफएम सुनता. गौल टाउन तावा में मिर्ची एफएम दागो मामा.
Mirchi FM. It's hot.
Leading business, only licensed providers are authorized to sell electricity services, says the Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission. General Manager Senikavika Chiuta says any consumer, including individuals, small and medium enterprises, or business that wish to purchase electricity, need to ensure that they acquire it from the authorized source. Chiuta says this applies for any third-party electricity provider. She says consumers must be aware of relevant laws that exist to protect all Fijians from substandard or faulty products or services. She reiterated that in order to earn a license, certain standards must be met, and for this reason, Energy Fiji Limited is exclusively authorized to sell electricity. The FCCC says this does not negate the requirement for EFL to invest and partner with independent power producers and renewable energy suppliers. The Fiji Institute of Bankers has appointed Swastika Lal as chairperson. In this role, Lal will work with FIB President Saud Minam to provide opportunities to train and develop Fiji's bankers to meet the growing demands and expectations of the industry. Lal has worked in banking and assurance for 14 years. She is a member of a number of executive committees, including the Fiji Institute of Accountants and CPA Australia Fiji branch. She is currently the financial controller for ANZ Pacific, covering 11 countries. Gary from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the world money market.
The Japanese yen stood near a 7-month high against the US dollar today. Political unrest in Hong Kong and Argentina added to trade concerns and rocked market sentiments. This increased demand for the safe haven of Japanese currency. The Aussie, on the other hand, lost about 0.5% yesterday, slipping in sympathy with the Chinese yuan. The Aussie dollar is sensitive to developments in China, which is Australia's largest trading partner. Meanwhile, data released showed the US government's deficit widened to $120 billion in July. The deficit was mainly fueled by increases in spending on healthcare and the military. And that's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Here are today's exchange rates. As said this morning, the Fiji dollar was on the rise across the region today, gaining against the Aussie and Kiwi dollars as well as the PNG Kina. Beyond the region, it slipped slightly against the other currencies we cover. Commodities were on the rise today. Crude oil approaching $55 a barrel. Gold shot up over $18 to $1,515 per ounce. And silver closed up at $17.28 per ounce. In growing Fiji, the UK Government Minister of State for Asia and the Pacific, Heather Wheeler, was in Fiji during her first visit overseas in this new role. She met with residents of Vio Island near Lautoka yesterday. Wheeler also visited Vio's rural electrification project site and was accompanied by Fijian Minister for Infrastructure, Chone Usamate. She is keen to explore how the UK can work with Pacific Island leaders, both to tackle the effects of climate change. Wheeler says renewable energy will be a key part of the solution. The UK has contributed to the Fiji Rural Electrification Trust Fund, which Minister Usamate expressed gratitude for on behalf of the government. That's it from Business Tonight. Sports is up next with Jamie.
Thanks, Corey, and good evening. In Sports Tonight, McKee assures strong Flying Fijians team for World Cup.
Navango meria maramani waya manatuya sawa awetikituktunde nandi ya ndo marataka na varonga na Radio Fiji 1.
Yawa asna datili yawa mara Monica. Tondo varonga vale bunar doma ibiti lambasa.
Bula nadango aprosa ngarse ngor kraki do televe no varonga na Radio Fiji 1 na doma ibiti. Nadango tsani bukia ngoni na mosi ando taleta kana varonga na Radio Fiji 1 na doma ibiti so.
Radio Fiji 1 na doma ibiti.
Fiji Airways Flying Fijians head coach John McKee has full confidence that Fiji will have one of the finest lineups at the Rugby World Cup. With the squad set to be announced at the end of the week, McKee says the final squad will see some brilliant players ready to showcase their skills. Priya Nand reports.
Following their win over Samoa in their final Pacific Nations Cup match over the weekend, the Flying Fijians are now focusing on the Rugby World Cup.
We've spent a lot of time, particularly in the past week, assessing our players and looking at our lists and looking at our players across a whole range of criteria. And we're pretty close to the final selection now.
McKee says the caliber of players is a reflection of the efforts put in by the Fiji Rugby Union.
It's good to see the local players coming through. I think it's a reflection of the programs that the Fiji Rugby Union are running now around the academy, but also with the Warriors program and the Drua program. Those players are getting really good quality training environments and playing environments, which is helping them develop their skills.
The Rugby World Cup begins on the 20th of next month, and McKee will reveal his final lineup this Friday. Priya Nand, FBC Sports.
Australian rugby vice-captain Samu Kerevi says the job is half done as the Wallabies gear up for the second Bledisloe Cup match against the All Blacks. All Blacks lock Scott Barrett has been hit with a 3-week ban for his red card in last weekend's Bledisloe Cup loss. Hooker Dane Coles has not held back in his assessment of the All Blacks' losing performance against the Wallabies last weekend. He says the team took the Bledisloe Cup for granted in the 47-26 thrashing, highlighting an attitude problem that needed to be fixed before the second match this Saturday. England coach Eddie Jones has named Fijian wing Jodhakana Singha in his 31-member squad for the Rugby World Cup. This year's Vodafone Kachi Rugby competition is hosting the largest number of teams to compete at the annual event, with some schools from as far as Onoilau and the interior of Viti Levu featuring teams for the first time. Apanisa Wangarandovu reports.
Kachi Rugby has been a platform of promoting a clear pathway for young rugby players since its inception in 2002.
It's not easy to bring this amount of players, a total number of 1,290 children.
budding rugby players who are here for the next 4 days, and we're expecting a lot of really constructive, clean rugby, and most of all we are here to enjoy as we bring together the best. This is the biggest ever gathering of Kachi rugby competition.
The Fiji Primary School Rugby Union has also been facing challenges building up to the game. However, this did not stop them from finding a solution so students can enter this year's competition.
Even though there were some last-minute hiccups as far as the funds were concerned, but fortunately the funds arrived yesterday, so we were able to put up the program today. The main thing is the boys' enjoyment, and that's the main thing that we're looking at.
The 2019 Vodafone Kachi Rugby is currently being played at Lawanga Park in Singatoka and will wrap up later this Friday. Apinisa Wangardobu, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Under-23 football squad is in camp in Ba preparing for the Olympic playoffs. The extended squad sees a number of prominent district reps. The playoffs will be held in Fiji from September 21st to October 5th, with the winner getting a ticket to the 2020 Olympics in Japan. Fiji will play all its games in Lautoka during the playoffs and is pooled with Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea and Tonga. British tennis player Andy Murray plans to play doubles at the US Open later this month, but says he won't be in the singles draw in the New York tournament. The former world #1 played his first singles match on Monday at the Cincinnati Masters since undergoing hip surgery in January, and lost to France's Richard Gasquet. That's it from sports tonight. In the world of the weird and wonderful later on, take a look at India's mesmerizing Golden Temple, the Harmandir Sahib. That's coming up.
रहता है, हमारा नाम उमेश कुमार, हम रहता है लेबू और रेडियो फीजी में हरदम सुनता है, बहुत पुराना गाना लगे और बहुत रोचक सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा लगे हमको।
उमेश चंद्रा और कांता चंद्रा हमारा वाइफ है। हम लोग रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत सुंदर से सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम, #1 रेडियो।
कुमार स्वामी नायक है, गोंगवा लेबू लटोका, रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
कुमार नाकाफी में रहता है, रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2, देश की धड़कन।
And Kelly joins us now with the latest in weather.
A tremendous Tuesday with sunny, warm conditions across the nation. Looking at the west, the tourists at the resorts must have been pleased by the perfect vacation weather. They see temperature 27 by the way. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, much the same fine conditions with some scattered cloudiness. And up north, more of the same, sunny and warm with scattered cloud. At sea, brisk easterly winds and moderate to rough seas. Our next low tide is at 11:35 this evening, followed by high tide at 5:26 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:27. For tomorrow, mostly fine conditions across all of Fiji, following a slim chance overnight or early morning showers in Suva and other eastern centres. Tomorrow's temperatures expect most areas to be around 30 degrees Celsius, and looking further on to Thursday, the same great weather should continue. Jackie.
Sounds fantastic. Thanks so much for that, Kelly. In Fijian Pulse segment tonight, we asked, should the police beat on the streets be done in other parts of the country?
It should be expanded to other divisions.
Throughout Fiji.
Of course, we need more patrol around Fiji because violence all over Fiji.
Yeah, there's need police patrol over the town area.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, police concerned with children caught loitering at night. Australia responds to PM's pleas. And husband of helicopter crash victim shares memories. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question segment this week, we're asking, should there be extra penalties for inmates caught with contrabands? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day taken at Nandovu Road in Lautoka by Tariq Bahadur. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. Follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
We love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bulaminaka, I'm Linda Form. I studied Suva. I love listening to Today FM because they play latest music and they rock.
Hi, my name is Osnate. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm Makereta from Nandi. We love listening to Today FM. Here in Nandi, it rocks.
Hi, I'm Shania. I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM and it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.